And now, please welcome CEO of Dubai Corporation for Tourism and Commerce Marketing, Issam Abdul Rahim Kazim, in conversation with Skift founder and CEO, Rafat Ali.
Okay, how are all of you doing? Good? Good? Energy levels? There's a lot of food outside. They feed you very well. So, well, thank you, Issam. I'm not used to seeing you in suit. I'm used to seeing you in your traditional.
Yes, of course.
He's a handsome-looking guy, isn't he? He's the Shah Rukh Khan of Dubai. We'll come back to Shah Rukh Khan in a bit. So, we did talk about speaking in Hindi.
Yes.
So explain how you learned Hindi.
Of course, first of all, good morning, namaste, and salam alaikum to everyone. So growing up, first of all, I always joke around. People from my generation, we always say, if you don't speak Hindi, then they should take your UAE passport away from you. I think the cultures between India and the UAE is so strong, and the historical relationship is so strong and so deeply embedded that it's become natural for a lot of the Emiratis, especially my generation and before, to speak Hindi extremely fluently. Plus, we grew up where every Thursday night at 10:30, they would play a Bollywood movie. So that's been our cultural upbringing.
So in fact, and you mentioned a little bit, when we talk about the India and Arab trading routes,
yes,
your family was part of that.
Yes, they were part of it as well. So my grandfather used to trade between Mumbai and Dubai, and so my father grew up. A large part of his life was in India. Schooling was in India, and university was in India as well. So therefore, for us again, even our food at home has always been Indian food. So when I come over here, I look for non-Indian food because something different for once.
Well, so let me ask you this in Hindi.
Sure.
So आपका इंडिया से ये मोहब्बत का Genesis and sorry.
मैं मदद करूं?
I'm nervous speaking in Hindi and he's nervous speaking in Hindi, so good.
अच्छा मैं बोलूँगा. तो मुझे इंडिया से तो बहुत मोहब्बत है. अब से तो नहीं, बहुत ज़माने से. और प्रॉब्लम क्या है, मेरे हिंदी जो है, मैं आपको बताया था कि बॉलीवुड से सीखा हूँ. तो कभी-कभी बहुत क्लासी है, कभी-कभी मवाली हिंदी होता है, तो पता नहीं कैसे शिफ्ट कभी होने वाला है, तो
Okay, we're back in English. One of the biggest things that I know you are pushing is the state of visas for Indians coming to Dubai.
Yes.
And so you've made a bunch of changes. Explain what the recent changes are.
I think the most significant change recently is the 5-year multi-entry visa, right? I think for us, obviously, India has been always an important market. So if I just go back to numbers for a little bit, right? So in 2014, we launched our strategy with the aim to grow the number of tourists to become one of the most visited cities in the world, right? And year on year, up until 2020, we had seen significant growth where we had record numbers every single year. And in 2015, actually, India became our #1 key source market. By 2019, we hit 16.73 million tourists into Dubai, international tourists. 2020 hit, so the whole world goes into lockdown. We were one of the first to lock down, one of the first to open up. And since then, we've literally picked up where we left off. And finally, last year, we broke our own record and reached 17.15 million tourists, out of which close to 2.5 million tourists are from India, becoming our #1 key source market again. So with that, what we realized was, and again, by the way, bear in mind that we have over 75 flights a day between India and Dubai. And if you ask me, that's still not enough, because we're running over 93 to 98%, depending on the period of time of the year, throughout. So there's always still a demand. And we can see also with the campaigns that we run, which is always data-driven, we can see that there's a massive surge in terms of demand and excitement and interest in the destination. So I'm glad to see that even your guests earlier, they're talking about their own expansion with Air India and others as well, because we don't only work with local carriers, we also work hand in hand with the key source market national carriers and the airports to facilitate dialogue to ensure that they have the best access into Dubai and through them more and more travelers can come into the city, which brings us back to the visa conversation. And we've rolled out many different visa programs. So we did remote working visa, we did investors visa, we did many other programs since COVID. And recently we've launched a 5-year multi-entry visa, making it much easier for people, considering it's 3 hours and 15 minutes between Delhi and Dubai. So that people can come in even for a weekend stay, for a weekend getaway, to attend events. A lot of times, for example, there are sporting games, IPL or concerts or events that happen that would be of interest for the Indian audience. They can always travel down to Dubai using these visas.
Is it true that the second half of the IPL is moving to Dubai?
To be honest, we don't know yet.
Okay.
But again, Dubai has always hosted IPL games because we know the importance of it for the Indian community. And we always joke around, we're so happy that India's always considered Dubai as another city of India. And it's literally that genuine sense of home away from home for the Indian community. One of the largest resident population are also Indian, so there are a lot of VFR traffic, visiting friends and relatives. So all of that sets itself perfectly for Dubai to host IPL games as well.
Yeah. So let's talk about that, because for you, two things matter a lot when you think about India as a market. It's Bollywood, and
Yes.
it's actually not just Indian market, but for you in market in general. Bollywood and the importance of big events.
Yeah.
So Bollywood, are we supposed to play that clip, Ryan? The cut.
And cut! Great job, Shahrukh. Was it good? Mine. Thank you, Balish. Oh.
All right, guys, pack it up.
Hi, baby.
Dad, you home?
No. I'm not at home. I'm at the shoot.
Oh.
Yeah, and I have a long day.
How boring, Dad. You're in Dubai.
Hi.
Walk around, have fun.
That sounds like a good idea.
Talk later. Love you.
Love you too.
It's a land of wonder. It's a place of beauty. This land where experience becomes beautiful memories. The world comes together. It's magical to see. Every heart goes salam to you and me. Right here in the
So, from one Shah Rukh Khan to the other Shah Rukh Khan. Have you met him?
Yes, of course.
Peden, if you want to meet Shah Rukh Khan, where's Peden? This is the guy, he has some aim there. So, what has the Bollywood connection done for Dubai tourism?
A lot. I think it goes even well before Shah Rukh Khan, right? I think for us, like I said, the affinity of growing up in the Bollywood world. Dubai was always mentioned in a positive way, and there was always that synergy between India and Dubai. And I think since this ad and this campaign that we ran for quite some time, and this is the last episode of a series that we had done with Shah Rukh Khan. And the reason why we selected Shah Rukh Khan specifically was because, again, him, like many others, Dubai is familiar to him, right? It is also, again, genuinely a destination of choice for him. But we wanted somebody who has that organic energy rather than, although he's a great actor, to put on an act that he likes the destination, but to thoroughly and genuinely enjoy the destination as well. What was important also is the impact of Bollywood, not just for the Indian audience in India, but also to the Bollywood fans around the world, right? And I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you guys are aware, but the impact of Bollywood goes well beyond the boundaries of India itself. So the region itself, within the Middle East, it's massive. Shah Rukh Khan is extremely popular. Same thing when you go to Europe and you go to the US as well. So for us, when you look at it from that perspective, we have a lot of students, right, from India who are studying abroad, who travel via Dubai in many cases, right, on Emirates or any other carriers. So it gives us a chance to at least attract them as a destination, or for them to meet with their families in Dubai as well, let alone trying to attract new tourists to come into the city as well. And through the perspective of and the gravitas of the celebrity profile like Shah Rukh Khan, you'll get a lot of people's attention to a wider offering of what Dubai has on its menu, rather than just the popular destinations themselves.
And the thing that I'm guessing you're trying to do is not just for these ads, but for them to actually spend time organically.
Absolutely.
In Dubai.
Yes, because what we do is a lot of these itineraries that we built with the celebrities are based on
Or you actually have an
feedback from them.
itinerary as well?
The itinerary side, yes,
Yes.
it's built with them. So what we do is we share with them, of course, everything that Dubai has to offer. So a lot of them would be familiar to them that they would want to showcase because they're genuine fans of, and other things that they want to explore and experience as well. And then we make sure that that becomes part of their experience too. And then we decide which one fits best with the offering and the message that we want to convey to the right segments of the specific markets.
So moving on to a related topic in terms of sort of the big things that you do. For you, the big iconic events
Yes.
have become a big part of the Dubai success story, but also as a marketing vehicle for the city itself in all possible ways.
Yeah.
Talk about that, because I know a lot of people in India are trying to learn lessons on organizing big events. G20 just happened here,
Yeah.
which is a huge showcase for the country as well.
Absolutely. Okay, so again, going back to, I would say it was 2003, when we first held the IMF event in Dubai. At that point in time, a lot of people were not familiar with Dubai as a host city for not alone big events, but also for tourism at the way that we are aware of it today. So there was a lot of lobbying that we had to do, a lot of presentations within the bid itself to make sure that we have a lot of the right partners from the private and public sector attending these bids with us to showcase why Dubai would be the right place or the right host city for such a big event. Of course, their concerns were on the logistics aspect to manage an event of that size, the security requirements that goes within that, and so on and so forth. But it did go ahead, and it was one of the most successful events that they've ever had, and that automatically catapulted Dubai to another level, right? And from that point onwards, we started to gain traction with a lot more events. We started to host big medical events, construction events, tech events, and so on and so forth, which eventually led to Expo 2020, which was held a year after the COVID global lockdown. Even though we were requested to push it by another year, we decided no, because there's a lot of countries that are committed to this, a lot of people that dedicated their time to this. We didn't want to delay it anymore. So even though it was a year later, it was almost as successful as all the KPIs that we had set for ourselves. And then after that, we had COP28 last year as well.
Right.
What's great is that for us as a city now, again, bear in mind that we're talking about Dubai with a population of 3.5 million, which might be a neighborhood here, but within that space, it's easier to manage the private and public sector together.
Right.
But if you get that mix right, that's the reason why Dubai has been successful so far. Because the government in Dubai actually is the fast-moving entity. We're the ones who are actually leading the way, right? And the private follows, and that is by design. Because we're there to pave the way, to make sure that the private does not face any issues or any hurdles along the way. And we have a constant dialogue with the private sector to understand exactly how we can change regulations and processes to make things even smoother for them to be able to conduct their business in a much better way. And I think that in itself becomes important. So changing visa policies.
Right.
For us, when we know something makes sense, we will make sure that all the relevant parties sit together and they make it happen. We know what the goal is. Nobody says, oh, it can't happen. The idea is, how do you make it happen?
Right. So are you saying that you're offering everybody here in the room a golden visa?
So everyone's welcome. Yes, of course.
Everybody's welcome. So we're just showing a visual of that. What's that gate called?
The gate?
Yeah.
That's the Dubai frame.
Dubai frame. So one of the things that you are very good at, is every year coming up with, for lack of a better word, I'm going to say gimmick, but that's not what I mean, but that conveys the meaning coming up with a new hook attraction,
Sure.
if you will, to market the city.
Yeah.
And so talk about that sort of creative process and how you think about that.
Look, again, when you look at Dubai on a map, right, we're literally like just a small dot. So in order for people to take notice of what we were doing, we had to create some noise around it, right? And again, you have to bear in mind that in the region that we're in, we were blessed by not having oil, right? And the reason why I say blessed is because that kind of created the necessity and the urge and I would say the need for us to come up with our own model to become successful, right? So less reliant on natural resources and become a bit more industrial in terms of the way that we think and approach things, entrepreneurial. And that spirit exists still today. So one of the first things that we did was we wanted to grab headlines to get people's attention. And the way to do that was to launch the first and the only 7-star hotel, right?
Which is where we had our conference last year.
Exactly.
Yes.
Right. And to have it like on an artificial island and this and that, it created a lot of attention. Then we had the tallest tower, as well as the Palm Island, and so on and so forth. And I think over time, when you started to see that more and more people now...
You're talking Burj Arabs. Never mind. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Burj Al Arab. Then we're talking about Burj Khalifa. We're talking about Palm Island. But today, it has shifted from that now, right? So Dubai has genuinely become now a city where a lot of people are looking for opportunities, right? We are a home for close to 200 different nationalities that make up about 90% of the population, right? These are people who have chosen Dubai to be home for varied reasons, to start up their businesses, whether from an SME perspective, set up the regional global HQ, because again, within a 4-hour radius, you have access to 1/3 of the world's population. And within 8 hours, you have access to 2/3 of the world's population. Of course, we're lucky that China and India fall within that 8-hour space, but the accessibility to Dubai, the ease of visa, the connectivity with the airports, we have open skies policy, and we work with every carrier around the world. In fact, create the facilities to enable them to fly into Dubai, right? Logistics-wise, DP World, running one of the largest port operators in the world, being able to, again, connect from a business perspective. All of these things really position Dubai in a very different way. So today, it's the events, it's the lifestyle, it's the livability angle of Dubai that is really putting Dubai on the map. What we did in the past, which was creating those big headline announcements, has now shifted to more serious and more concrete business side of the industry as well.
And then one of the things also that you focused on is a lot on cuisine and making it one of the biggest sort of restaurant cities in the planet. Talk about the importance of that. And I think Michelin Guide has a Dubai guide now as well.
Of course.
Yeah.
So gastronomy has always been something we've taken for granted again. We've always enjoyed, again, the mix of nationalities that exist in Dubai. That came across in the food scene as well. So a few years ago, we approached Michelin to see how can we launch the guide in Dubai and why aren't they there and so on and so forth. And they said that Dubai wasn't ready yet, right? And I can understand why they would have thought so. Anyway, I think I pestered them enough that it came to a point where they eventually sent some of their inspectors, and they do this very discreetly and stuff, anonymously. They reached out to me and they said look, we want to meet, and we met with them, and they were extremely excited, and they said we had no idea how good the food scene was here, so you might be in a better position than we had assumed. So we launched 3 years ago, we launched the first edition of Michelin, which had 69 restaurants listed in its inaugural year. Year 2, which was last year, it jumped up to 90 restaurants, right? We have 11 starred restaurants. We have 3 2-star restaurants. We have a very popular chef, Chef Vinit, who has his restaurant Indigo in Dubai. We've got Trescind, which is a 2-star restaurant in Dubai, Michelin restaurant. And the sous chef of Trescind launched his own restaurant, which is the first, if I'm not mistaken, vegetarian, vegan Michelin star restaurant in the world, which is also, it's called Avatara, which is also in Dubai as well.
I guess some people are vegetarians here, or they know the guy.
So there's a lot that's happening from a food scene, and all of a sudden, not only are we now known for having the best restaurants and maybe having some of the best global brands opening up and the global chefs opening up in Dubai, but we're starting to now export restaurants globally as well.
Interesting.
So it's really changed the game for us.
So you talked about some of the higher end things. So one of the things I'm sure you think about is sort of the global luxury image of Dubai versus the affordability.
Yep.
And especially for the mass of Indian travelers come in all different stratas from the society. And this is not just true for India, this is true for the rest of the world that's looking at Dubai as a destination to come and visit and live, et cetera, et cetera. So how do you think about the image of Dubai versus the reality of Dubai?
I think, again, this is, again, when you're a victim of your own success to a certain degree. So what we did was, when we launched the 7-star hotel, Burj Al Arab, and all the other brands, it kind of put Dubai in people's perception as it's a highly sought after destination. We'd love to go there. It's aspirational. However, I might not be able to afford Dubai, right? Now, we do cater to the ultra luxury segment. We do cater to the high-end travelers. However, that doesn't mean that we don't cater to all the other budgets, right? So what we did was, when we launched our strategy, we also made it very clear that if we're going to open up to a lot more to a bigger segment in terms of travel audience, we wanted to make sure that also the hospitality offering matched that demand. So today we have close to 150,000 hotel rooms and still growing. Compare that to about 67,000 hotel rooms when we launched the strategy. So it's a significant jump. And if you look at the increase, we've seen a massive increase in 3- and 4-star hotel offering, as well as, now these are the hotel rooms, let alone the furnished apartments and the residences that people can actually also rent out. But in the 3-star, I also encourage everyone to try them out because our 3-star, I can guarantee, can compete with a lot of 5 stars around the world as well. Because we don't compromise on quality. Because the thing that we wanted to make sure is, because people's perception is luxury travel to Dubai, that even if they're coming at a budget, we want them to have a luxury experience in Dubai as well.
Okay. So we're running out of time. One question I wanted to ask about is sort of the why, and this is a wider question than just Dubai, sort of Middle East at large and the historical connections between Middle East and India. How should Indian companies think of navigating Middle East as a market?
I think, look, I mean, first of all, the affinity is there, right? I think looking at it from a Dubai perspective, I mean, the cultures are so well integrated, right? I think, I genuinely believe that a lot of my friends who visit me from India, they really feel Dubai is home away from home for them, right? Culturally, even from a food perspective, to the extent where my non-Indian friends who live in Dubai have always said that we love the local cuisine, the Emirati cuisine. And I'm asking them, okay, what dish in particular? And they say biryani. And I'm like, that's not Emirati. And then they're like, well, we like karak chai. I'm like, also not ours, you know? But it's just become so synonymous with Dubai as well. But then if you look at it from a Bollywood perspective, again, the export of Indian cinema has really created this romantic approach to the destination, right? And I think there's a massive market that India would be hugely popular with. And the landscape of India, in terms of what you have to offer here, in terms of whether it is from the north to the south, east to the west, it's so varied. And again, seasonality-wise, it is so amazing that it even complements the traveling period of time for us. You know, so I think there's a massive market and a massive opportunity for the industry here to really capitalize on attracting more and more tourists out of the region, for sure.
Well, we're out of time. Next time we're in Dubai, we're going to go have Indian food, or as we call it, food. But yes, thank you again. Appreciate it. Thank you, Issam.
Thank you, Rafat. Thank you very much.